Good morning, everybody. John Delarose here, the leading Hispanic voice in science fiction, author of For Steam and Country, Gravity of the Game. Both available on Amazon, and if you like all my content here, do go and support the Patreon. The Patreon is patreon.com/John Delarose. I do all this content every day on here on my blog, and put out some great short stories on there. So if you want to keep this train rolling and help push it to the next level, that is the spot to do it. So thank you for everybody who's already on there so far too. You can see my eyes. I'm like barely able to keep my eyes open already this morning. I've had like a full pot of coffee and I'm still not there. I was up way too late last night. Just for health purposes, Tom Brady is big on sleep, by the way. I going through his TB12 method, which is he's got some just general advice everybody talks about. And part of that is always be rested, always get sleep, stay hydrated. Those are like his two favorite things to talk about. And it's true, because if you are like light on sleep and you're not hydrated, both of those things, your performance in whatever you're going to do is going to be not quite as good as if you would have been otherwise. And so if you're trying to keep your performance at 100% A game, like I try to do, you definitely want to not do what I did and just always prioritize sleep over whatever else. But I didn't do that because I was working on the Ember War comic last night. I finished it. I finished up going over my sort of what I wanted to revise in the script early in the evening, and I got that to Richard Fox, and Richard Fox saw it and came back with comments pretty late in the evening. And see, he's got a full-time writer gig, so he stays up a little later than I do, I think, and wakes up a little later than I do. But he came back with comments, a lot of good comments. Basically, everything he did was just like tweak a little description here, tweak a little dialogue here, and there's actually 2 pages I'm going to change the scenes of just to build a little more tension in the script. And basically, I agree with his changes that he's going to add, that he's telling me to add to it. It's going to change the comic from like something really good to like this is just screaming with good pacing. It's going to have beautiful visuals, and I'm so excited for how this is going. I don't know. Have my people read the Ember War book? Like, should I avoid spoilers still? I might want to. I'll avoid spoilers just in case you guys haven't. But that went really well. We talked for about an hour and a half last night. And this is just going to be a fantastic project. I'm still amused. There was one comic book outlet for the media who's covered this so far. It was Bounding Into Comics, and they covered it from the angle right-wing publisher to publish the Ember War. There's nothing politics in the Ember War. It's just a like straight up alien invasion story. So that headline kind of I don't know. It's a perception that doesn't need to be added to the book, to be honest. But I'm still shocked that none of the other comic media has even touched this. I've said this several times. The Ember War sells more books. Every book that comes out in the Ember War universe that Richard Fox writes sells more books than unless there's a big event. Every Marvel and DC book out there. So if you get an event like Doomsday Clock, or get an event like the Batman Metal or whatever, that might outsell one of Fox's books. But every other mainline book, Richard Fox sells better. So he is bigger as an author than anything that Marvel and DC comes out with. Think about that. So, if the fact that the comic media is not covering this is intentional, and it's an attempt to ignore us intentionally because of who we are, and they want to keep their little monopoly of the big two, and the couple little hoverers, orbiters around the big two, the IDWs and the Images of the world. And they do that so they can control the story content. Marvel and DC, have relationships with these media outlets, and they refuse to criticize them to a certain extent, because they'll stop getting their interviews, stop getting their free review copies, and stop getting their news. And so it's all a concerted media effort, because this is an oligopoly in this industry. and they don't like people coming in and trying to pave new ways to break that up. So yeah, it'll be funny. So once we get the art out, and we have an artist, I haven't announced the artist yet, but the artist I've got on this has worked for major properties from Image Comics, major properties from Dynamite Comics. This is going to be big, guys. This is not messing around here. Nobody's going to be able to criticize the art on this and be like, oh well, the art like Quantum Mortis, or nobody's going to be able to do that with this book. This book is just going to scream. This book is just going to crush it. So yeah, I'm very excited, as you can tell. Even though I'm half asleep, I'm very excited. So that's basically my news last night. This is what I'm going to be working on today. I'm going to be cleaning it up, fixing things. Even though I'm tired, I got to get it done. Got to get things out there and got to get the content moving for you guys. And then I'll move on to something else. But I still have four issues of this to write. But I need to go back through the book and figure out how to break it up into those four issues. And after this, the first issue was very cleanly broken up in terms of the way the book was structured. The second and third issues, I've got to find a good spot for. But yeah, it's from this point on, like the comic just becomes action. So it's gonna be a lot of fun to write. Or the book becomes action. So the comic will follow that. So that's that on the Everwar front. I don't know how many people went to my blog or my Twitter last night and saw the video. A nice reader sent me this beautiful video from Oprah from the 90s where science fiction writer John Scalzi was on Oprah, and he straight up spent time mansplaining how to be a strong woman to Oprah. It was amazing. So please check out the blog on that. There's a video. You gotta fast forward to about 20 minutes in. It's hilarious, and the guy's pretty angry and was talking about me yesterday. So, I know how to get. The thing is, here's the deal. I know how to get impressions, right? I'm a marketer deep down, way more than anybody else is. So, I know how to use buzzwords to create impressions. And if you want to target me in something, I'm just going to get impressions based on your name. And I'm not going to be as mean because I'm not going to swear at you or nothing like that. That's not how I operate. But I will be funny, and don't attack me. It's not that hard. That's yeah, so brave. So he's so brave that he blocked me right after attacking me back in the Dragon Awards. The guy just like went off on me at the Dragon Awards, and I'm like, why? So it was very weird, and I don't know what these people do, or like why they spend so much time doing this. What I noticed was that there's this like SSFC guild or something like that. It's a sci-fi writers guild that somebody's starting. I'm not involved. I'll probably join up. I mean, why not? But somebody started it, and somebody they posted a bunch of stuff like science fiction books should be. Yeah, it's interesting. I wonder if his online persona. David Gerald told me something interesting. I do communicate with David Gerald incidentally. And he was all like, you're being bad, blah 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 blah, of course. But David Gerald told me, he's like, you need to work on your persona and how you present your persona and the way it needs to be respectable to the industry and blah 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 blah. And I just looked at that and I'm like, this ties into your comment. Why I don't have a persona. Hey Megan, how you doing? I don't have a persona. I just kind of type what I think's funny, and I just kind of talk about what I feel like talking about. And it's like I'm having a conversation with people. I don't have. There's not a different me. If you came over to my house, I would be having the same conversation with you right now. I'd let you talk, but I'd be having the same conversation with you right now as this, and we'd be laughing and we'd be having fun. There might be a little more. I'm a real person. Right, that's the difference. So, and I think that's part of why these guys are bitter. So, I mean, a lot of these guys in the science fiction writing community that act like this and have these personas, they put on public personas intentionally, like David Gerald was suggesting to me. And thanks, Megan. And what they do is they're extreme introverts, right? These are people who can't function in society, right? They're people. The reason they go to their keyboards is they immerse themselves in their keyboards. So they can tune out the outside world because they're so miserable all the time. That's the primary sort of personality type that is is kind of in the traditional publishing world. Neckbeards, yeah. there's different there. This doesn't apply to everyone, of course, but I'm talking about, specific few people. So they actually do intentionally create personas like they create characters in their books in order to go out in public, to talk in public, to give interviews, and they pretend they're those characters. They do this intentionally. Like if you J. Michael Straczynski, the Babylon 5 writer, has actually talked about this, about how he actually JMS, which is his initials, as a writer, when he goes out in public, he thinks of himself as JMS, not Joe, which is who he is. And JMS is a persona, and his persona acts like this and this and this, and that's how he gets over stage fright when he's talking in front of crowds. He's very open about this, and a lot of them are very open about this. So when they go online and they go like this, they are creating an act, and so they get so mad because they think I'm creating an act too, to kind of be, I guess a little more aggressive and a little more out there and smiling all the time. I'm not creating an act. I am literally smiling all the time. I'm always a go-getter. I'm high energy, and I love it. Even not sleeping like this, I'm gonna have higher energy than they probably have for their entire lives. So yeah, and a lot of them have had too many tendies. So yeah. So I think that's interesting. I think it is interesting that these people create personas in order to try to like cope with the world. And yeah, I don't have to do that. That's part of why the energy doesn't, like, everybody's like, doesn't this take a lot out of you? It's like, no, I just fire off a tweet real quick and I'm laughing. That takes nothing. I can do that while I'm writing a book, as a matter of fact. It's pretty great. But I tend not to do the thing like that they do, which, it may look like I'm doing a lot, but if you look at, any of these, science fiction writers, Twitters or whatever, they do these threads, and they label it up front, thread, and they write like, 2,000 words, like ranting angrily about a topic. And that takes an hour or two. To write that, to parse it up, that's real effort and real anger being put into it. And TLDR, that's not how Twitter's supposed to be meant to use as a platform. So it doesn't advance their cause, which is what frustrates them further. But two, like, if you're putting that much effort into Twitter, you're gonna have a problem. I literally am doing something else. I'm on my way to a meeting. I'm standing outside a meeting real quick. I see something, so I just fire off a tweet real quick. I do it the Trump way, right? And that's what frustrates them. So I don't know. That's kind of my, I guess this is my global advice on how to handle life. Always talk positively to yourself. Always keep positive, and you will be positive, and things will start to go good. And on top of that, just know how to use social media in the format it's meant to be used. Long rants on a format like Twitter, it's not meant for that. So it's yes, and always have the best words, right? Tremendous words, incredible words. So I'm gonna try to make it through the day. I was up too late last night, and I'm just gonna caffeine it all the way. I gotta rest up tonight because I got church playing this weekend, and I think that's everything. So go check out my blog and look at the top post. Scalzi mansplains being a strong woman to Oprah. Just do that right away. It's really great. And I haven't looked at the release the memo thing yet, so I'm gonna do that pretty shortly here. But cool. Thank you everybody for tuning in. Please, again, just go look at the books for Steam and Country. This is why I'm doing everything. I'm pushing the books out, getting everything going. The Ember War is going to be a tremendous success, and just keep on going. And thank you everyone for tuning in. Thank you, Megan, for all your hard work. Megan is the hardest working reporter in journalism. She is, she's fighting the good fight. So follow her if you don't. I'll talk to you guys soon.